So if you listen to Andrew Berry's recent press conference, you will know that he has hinted that we will be on the younger side, on the offensive side of the ball. But what I want to talk about is we do need at least one veteran wide receiver, not only to mentor the younger guys, but somebody who also can give you some production. Two guys I do have in mind that can take the number one receiver role and be the mentor that the younger guy need. And I do have two guys in mind that probably won't give you the great production, but they will be the mentor coach that you need them to be, and the leader of the wide receiver room. Not just the wide receiver room, the leader of the one of the leaders of the offense. And I'm going to start with the guys that I think that they can serve as the number one and be a leader. My first person is the person that I want the most, and that's Mike Evans. Now, I know that he's coming off of an injury plagued season, but he's not really known to be injury prone, and I'm confident that that was just 1 year. So, and I do think he can serve for at least 2 to 3 more years as a legitimate number one wide receiver while you're grooming the whoever you take at six, which I think we should go receiver. And there's three guys I think we should go after: Tyson, Tate, or Lemon. Skeptical on Tyson because of his injury concerns, because he is nursing a hamstring still from the last college season. That's very concerning. But you'll be grooming those guys to be under Mike, learning under him how to be a professional, how to be the number one receiver, how to carry yourself in and out of a locker room. Not saying that these guys don't, but they'll learn from him because he's a wise vet and he's someone who has done it in this league. If you look at him outside of last year, every year he's a guaranteed 1,000 yard receiver. So that's someone that I definitely would love to have as one of the leaders of the locker room, because you can't count on Jerry to be a leader. Um, that's just not who he is, and there's no problem with that. Not everybody's meant to be a leader. I think if you let Jerry just worry about ball, he'll be fine. You take the pressure of leadership off of him, I think he'll be fine. And you can let Mike Evans lead the Harold Fannons, the insert one of the three receivers, the Quinshawn jump, be that wily vet that the Browns desperately need. And another guy that I think we should go after is Debo Samuels. I think he'll be cheaper than Mike Evans, but he was more productive. But he did play more, but he was one of the more productive players on his team, over 700 yards. And most of that came without Jaden Daniels. And I think that he definitely can still serve the same role that I think Mike can serve, the wily veteran, also giving you 2 years of being a number one receiver while you're transitioning the guy you take in this year draft to be the guy. Or you never know, Jerry might take that role up in the next year or two. And there's also two other guys. I don't think they're gonna have the same production as a Debo or a Mike Evans, but I do think they serve the same leadership role on and off the field as those guys. And I think that these two guys has the name cachet that the younger guys will be on some, okay, they're talking, let me listen, because they have done it before in this league, and both of these guys do know what it takes to be a number one, and that's Brandon Cooks and DeAndre Hopkins. Like I said, I don't think both of these guys are going to have the same production or would bring the same production as a Mike Evans or a Debo Samuel. But I do think that they could serve the same leadership role as those guys because they do come with the same name cachet and respect from their peers around the league, that these younger guys will come in and say, okay, that's DeAndre Hopkins. He's done it before. He's speaking, so let me listen and let me learn from him. Same thing with Brandon Cooks. He's been a number one receiver before on the Houston Texans, and I think the younger guys will respect what he has to say and want to learn from under him. Like I said, I don't think those two will bring you the same production as a Mike Evans or a, um, a Debo Samuel, but I do think they'll give you a good, solid 300 yards because most of the targets are going to go to Harold Fannin, Jerry Judy. Quinshawn is going to get his touches depending on if he's ready for the start of the season. The young receiver we take, with they're going to get their fair share. So, but I do think they can serve as a good veteran mentor role, and those two guys are still good possession receivers, and I think that they can serve as most definitely good veteran receivers and take that responsibility off of Jerry Judy's plate and just let Jerry play ball, and hopefully you relieve Jerry of the leadership responsibilities. He can just focus on ball and get back to year one Cleveland Browns Jerry Judy 1,200 yards. I don't think he's going to get that because I think the ball is going to be spread around more. And depending on who the quarterback is going to be, which I think is going to be Shador, but that's for a later video. Harold Fannin is going to be probably have the most yards. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section and let me know who you think the Browns should target in free agency. Whether it's one of the veterans I said, whether they trade for Brian Thomas Jr. or someone like that. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. That's all I got to say. Peace.